Today's court session began with the judge announcing that Melly and YNW Bortlen will go to trial in September, which was the worst possible conclusion for YNW Melly.
Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock with Mr. Demons, pending whatever future motion that I'm going to hear. I'm in another capital case right now. I have 4 hearing dates left available between now and September the 10th. I gave the parties those 4 dates, and I'm holding all of those dates and times open only for these 2 defendants. So anything that you need me for, okay?
Yes, sir.
Judge Martin Fiend reportedly said to Bortlen's attorney at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, quote, "So, Mr. Haddad, for the time being, Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial with YNW Melly on September 10th. Allow me to explain why Melly's circumstances are unimaginably dire. Prosecutors will bring Bortlen forward." The news site had stated, a no communication order has been filed in the YNW Melly trial. With the directive, Melly and Bortlen are completely cut off. There is no lawyer talk or debate since Bortlen is being pressured to snitch by the prosecutors because he and Melly are being tried.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
It is not physically possible for Bortlen to sit there and accept life in jail on his chin if he is aware that he did not conduct this severe crime. As Melly did at Bortlen in the first trial, it is highly probable that he will then blame Melly. As you may not be aware, since the initial trial, Melly's attorneys have attempted to blame YNW Bortlen for the entire crime.
For his lives. Courtroom Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Courtroom Henry.
Melly's own lawyer revealed that Bortlen was the one who lied to the federal government, the one who had powder residue on his hands, and the last to die with a Juvian bag chaser. Bortlen feels a great deal of deceit from his former closest friend. Additionally, a forensic scientist who reported on the killings was called to testify about YNW Bortlen's ownership of the powder residue.
So the right hand of Courtroom Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of shot residue and 2 component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of shot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was shot residue present on the hands.
YNW Bortlen did not welcome this. That's why. YNW Bortlen reportedly tweeted a mysterious comment on the day when YNW Melly's mistrial was made public. His last tweet, which featured a handshake symbol as if he were taking a deal, revealed that people like myself are not amenable to mind tricks. But it only makes the warning more acute because YB Moreland has every reason to turn on Melly in light of what was found inside his home.
His co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Courtland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with a witness.
Images of alleged notes discovered during YNW Bortlen's house search last week, as reported by Bryson Paul, are seen here. In the notes, which were kept with the Broward clerks, Bortlen is shown in photographs making notes regarding the whereabouts of certain jurors during the YNW Melly trial. He went on to explain how they looked, just before Melly's lawyers started showing him information that implicated him. Bortlen seemed ready to turn on Melly if these jurors found him guilty.
Keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy shit. Like, come the on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They're like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
As the news claimed, Melly became quite angry when all of this was disclosed in a courtroom and was seen yelling at his lawyers. YNW Melly publicly disregarded his lawyer's advice for the first time today when he was seen yelling with them during the hearing.
Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You objected to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes, sir.
They are contesting the proof since it pertains to the YNW Melly Street Team Association. There is one piece of evidence that the feds want to use against Melly. The Facebook post is from Young Thug and Melly. They are trying to say that Melly is similar to Young Thug in being a part of the Red Street Team in order to make him look worse in front of a jury.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Dimmons has the big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and see with individuals again, assuming that's also the Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers outside. A courtroom audience claimed to have heard Melly say, quote, "I don't care. I'm not a part of any gang." That's not something they can.
924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
The main reason why YNW Melly doesn't care is because of the inclusion of this content. According to the accompanying papers, the trial will eventually have to begin in 2027, which means that if Melly's lawyers are successful in getting that evidence omitted, YNW Melly will have been behind bars for 8 or 9 years before being.
This basically under the most compelling circumstances. Mr. Dimmons, as I sit here today, has been in custody for 2,339 days. Besides Mr. Dimmons' cases, which I've removed, this division currently has 38 other cases, special set for trial. 22 of those are murder cases. Numerous of those are death cases. And right now, this division has trial special set in December of 2026.
9/28. But the state is still insistent that the trial be rescheduled. Many new pieces of evidence will be introduced against Melly in order to ensure that he is sentenced to life in.
Finally, Judge, just so again the record's clear, what this, given Judge Murphy's order, and there would be an intent to comply with it, what the court is compelling the state to do is to go forward with evidence that has been suppressed. In other words, we would not be able to use that evidence. Right.
That's exactly correct.
As of now, the attorneys could go to the appellant court and request that they issue a stay or place a hold on the trial, and that seems to be the only way that this trial does not move forward on the scheduled date. So if that doesn't happen, Melly trial number 2 will begin in about 2 months.
Basically what happened today is the judge has said we are not delaying trial. We will be going to trial September 10th, even though there's things that's up with the 4th DCA that has been ruled to be suppressed and not able to be used in the upcoming trial. The judge is just upholding those orders. So therefore, all of the, basically what was up on appeal was all of that stuff, what they were using as an enhancer in order to get the death penalty qualified. The judge ordered all of that to be suppressed. So moving forward onto the new trial, the state will not be able to bring in that evidence.
Melly's lawyers did ask the court to release her bond at the end of the session. Wells' reaction after not receiving a bond in his double murder case, he's been in jail for 2,320 days without a guilty verdict, according to the media. Because, despite the fact that his bond was rejected, he achieved a major legal win that could result in the release of YNW Melly on bail on a specific date. The key to knowing when is that an FBI agent provided testimony. Attorneys for Melly reportedly questioned the FBI agent who analyzed Melly's phone at the time of the incident. Researching cell phone data is this agent's specialty.
Based on the information, you can't really tell the court precisely which locations these phones are following in Kenya.
One of the limitations of cellular analysis is that you can only say a general area where the device would be at a given time.
All right. So even with the general analysis, all of the stuff that we've gone through for about 4 or 5 hours, at the end of the day, you can never give an exact location.
True.
And could you tell if somebody was walking around a car with the phone? Would you be able to tell that?
No.
So it'd be your testimony that this phone, 9807, could be from here to here, correct?
Yes.
Despite his useful information, it wasn't until the next topic that the conversation became interesting. A DNA specialist gave testimony. He was responsible for analyzing DNA evidence on items found at the crime scene, especially those found that may have been utilized in the crime. This was the biggest win Melly had ever had. According to the report, a DNA analyst confirms Melly's DNA was not found on multiple items that were recovered at the crime scene.
Going to item number 22, the swab from the Gucci sandals. We're able to compare the profile from Mr. Devins as opposed to the profile developed from those sandals.
I did, and he was excluded.
The stain on the front of the t-shirt, item number 23, we're able to compare Mr. Devins' profile to that.
I did a comparison, and he was again excluded.
What about item number 24, the cutting of the stain of the rear of the t-shirt?
After comparisons were done, he was excluded.
Okay, then on item number 25, the swab of stain from the Air Jordans.
Again, an exclusion.
Going on to item number 26, the swab from the yellow jacket.
An exclusion as well.
And in terms of the item number 27 and 28, the swabs at the Gatorade bottles. What were the results on that?
Those were both exclusions.
We saw him enter the car, however, and realized that YNW Melly's DNA had been found on a car door handle. The same suspicions circulated that rapper Frito Bang was involved when Melly was seen getting into the car. The federal government now claims to have proof that Frito Bang picked up YNW Melly from the crime scene and delivered him to a nearby home.
And Chris Thomas. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up Frederick Gibbons then, about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Demons has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone call.
And Frito Bang's choice of YNW Melly can only be fully explained by YNW Bortlen. What happened 5 hours after the crime was committed, however, it's a vital question that YNW Bortlen's attendance at Melly's trial will also illuminate. It was made known that according to the prosecution, the evidence against Melly was changed. Only 5 hours after the crime was done, Melly was spotted dancing in a parking lot with YNW Bortlen. And he had no idea that he was being filmed confessing to the murders of Sack Hazer and Juve.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
16-10, exhibiting no sadness at all over the passing of their two closest pals. But after that, he would be secretly filmed once more. The crime was perpetrated 30 minutes before Melly was seen exiting the studio. You could watch him wait for Sack Hazer Huvia Mortland to get in after he climbed into the left back seat of the...
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
According to the official court document, the bullets left two right trajectory within the car supports. The claim that the rear left seat was where they originated. Here YNW Melly had been stationed. Finally, to confirm that Juvie was seated there, his mother was called to the stand.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
When Melly's trial took place in September, did you know that his chances of being found guilty increased by 95%? This is extremely disturbing because a lot of people believe that the Florida legal system is corrupt. I would like you to learn more about Melly's former girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton. Mariah has been quietly residing outside of the United States. Since before Melly's first trial, it was planned that she would testify against him, but she was not there. She left the country without warning, just a few weeks before the trial began, and has never...
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Being imprisoned. Her desire to see relatives she hadn't seen in years led to her being arrested as soon as she arrived at the airport. Since she was having a very bad time when she got to jail, the judge made her an offer at her first court hearing. Tell the truth and agree to testify against Melly, and you can go back home. Her departure from the courtroom took less than 25 minutes. As soon as she and her parents got into their car, she would check Facebook. Moreover, write to my village. My village is grateful. All of you have my undying love. It was my plan, not God's. This is terrible for YNW. Melly can be found in Mariah's iCloud account, and there is evidence that she forced her to stay silent during the trial. This is called witness tampering. Additionally,
filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
it would also not be related to the witness tampering issue because of his ongoing case of juvie sack chasers passing. It got so severe, though, that Melly's mother, Jamie King, even went on to interview the county prison and expose them for refusing Melly access to a phone or even his own mail because YNW Melly was calling Mariah on the jail phones and telling her to leave the country. Melly has been incarcerated for several months without being able to use.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
On the other hand, Melly was refused access if it was established that he was using the jail phones to obstruct witnesses. It is highly concerning that they would not just keep him off the jail phones if it were a hunch, as they surely have the evidence kept until the trial begins. The result would be a lawsuit for millions of dollars. Regardless of your opinion on Melly's culpability, if you like his music, please leave a comment below and like the video.